Thank you so much, folks. Really excited to be with you. I'm Elan Kawesch. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Claira. I'm here representing our founder and CEO, Katie Hall, and our COO, Ian Brynjolfsson, both of whom are MIT Sloan Executive MBA alumni. I'll now share a screen with a little more info about Claira. So across the world, firms are hiring and facing a retention crisis. They struggle to address turnover, engage their people, and fill gaps. And it all stems from a lack of accessible, granular data about what their people can do. Organizations still base hiring, development, and growth on old siloed data and static methods that result in poor performance, underutilized talent, and high turnover. Resumes and job descriptions are the old model, a system not updated since the 1950s that will soon be gone for good. We need a new dynamic solution based on the right data, and that's where Claira comes in. With agility and precision, our cloud-based software creates an ever-updating digital twin of your people's capabilities based on competency science, which is a system used by governments and large corporations for decades, but hasn't been digitized until now. Competencies are really simple. They're just detailed statements of what someone can actually do in their job, and they drive the precision in our technology. So please meet Ryan. He's a director of 500 people at an advanced manufacturing company in the Midwest. Like many modern executives, Ryan has to balance long-term strategic decision-making with short-term operational choices. With Claira, Ryan was empowered for the first time to have all the data he needed about his people to fill gaps on the fly, while also future casting and shaping his human capital strategy. For example, Ryan was able to identify weaknesses in a frontline worker role and internally fill them without having to realize the expense of growing his headcount. At the individual level, Claira continuously provides updated competency breakdowns, allowing Ryan to uncover hidden capabilities and cross-utilize talent like never before, saving him millions by not hiring externally. In fact, the average Claira customer saves north of $1.5 million per 100 employees by just better utilizing their people's talents. And at the organizational level, Ryan can leverage Claira to track how well he's tapping his team's abilities and how well his people cover role requirements with simple percentage scores that quickly and dynamically identify where improvements need to be made. Claira constantly pulls in market data to compare Ryan's team and provides action insights that predictively provide suggestions and solutions to drive ROI. Over time, Claira's machine learning platform builds a dynamic insight loop of what Ryan's people can do and where his organizational strengths and weaknesses lie. With an incredibly short client implementation in just 5 minutes per employee onboard, Claira uses natural language processing to compare and analyze what abilities Ryan has on his staff versus what needs he has, while improving diversity with demographic blind analysis in the process. In contrast to traditional keyword-based tools, Claira's tech knows, for example, that a user who reports intermediate spreadsheet creation abilities and a company need for Excel capabilities can be the same thing, similar to how a human would be able to bridge the connection gap. As a result, Ryan quickly increased employee utilization by 22%, engaged his people to improve retention by 10%, and in the process, his total workforce index set up his company to build a data-driven human capital strategy that will surpass his competition at a fraction of the price. And Ryan's just one of many business leaders who saved thousands of hours with our easy to set up software. He unlocked hidden internal talent and made his managers and HR teams better at their jobs as a result. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn about Claira. We'd love to connect with you and discover how we can bring value to your organization. We have a growing list of diverse customers, and we're looking to add to it with innovative customers and introductions across industries in English-speaking companies internationally. You can learn more and find a time to meet on our site, and I'm happy to field any questions. Thank you so much.
Great, thanks, Elan. So I was gonna say, what are some of the industries? You're probably industry agnostic, but are there any that you're focused on or that you've had great customers or conversations?
Yeah, absolutely. So our beachhead market was in manufacturing and advanced logistics type tools. We started actually during the pandemic, matching out of work waiters and waitresses to logistics jobs, because as it turns out, 70% of competencies are industry cross-cutting. So we started there. We really work well in industries where people are the product, or there's sort of a middle skill focus. So that sort of tends to give the best opportunity for companies to cross-utilize their talent and build an agile workforce. In today's companies, about 40% of their workforces are agile, and they're aiming to get somewhere to the 70 to 80% agile rate. So any companies that fit in that sort of digital transformation mold work really well.
Great. And connected to how you use competencies versus skills, for example, a question on that: how do you standardize how employees describe their talent and the different levels of competency?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to take a step back and build that comparison between skills and competencies, a lot of legacy tools are using skills as keywords that drive their matching. But the big problem with that, and the reason that competencies are needed are that skills are one word, right? Excel, Python, but that doesn't really give the level of context that a human needs or our machine learning needs to be able to accurately compare people to needs, right? So instead, we might use a competency that says something like utilizes an intermediate knowledge of Excel to create financial statements and build analysis around that, right? And with that huge level of detail, in the past, consultants were able to make matching, and now our technology is able to match people to needs. And then within the platform, once we have those longer statements, which we extract in our onboarding process, we're able to use our natural language processing algorithms to build weights into how much a specific company needs a specific competency, compare that to market data to see how other companies are doing the same, and build that into the platform so that companies are getting accurate measures of how well their people match up to their needs and what they're leaving on the table.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.